We are going to be preparing the faux Red Lobster biscuits today, and I wanted to give you an idea of what we're using in replacement of the regular Red Lobster biscuits. We are first using a mix of Bisquick, which is 1 cup of Bisquick, and then 1 cup of the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 flour, and it's right here. And that Bisquick will add some fluff to it, but this costs about $6 or $7 for a box, so it's just easier to cut it with other things. Then we are not using cow dairy. We are using the Earth Balance soy-free buttery sticks for the butter portion of the biscuit. And we're using goat milk instead of cow milk. And these are regular eggs. They're organic eggs, but they're regular. This is a combination of this Natural Valley goat cheese, a mild cheddar, and Kasseri. And Kasseri is a sheep's milk cheese, and it's from Greece. It melts beautifully, and I like the tang of it. It's a nice, real tangy cheese, but it's not sharp like a regular goat cheese or a regular sheep's milk cheese. Then we have some dried parsley, and we have some garlic. Now the parsley, a clue on parsley is never buy it in little jars. Go somewhere and get it in bulk somewhere because it's so much cheaper. Alright, the first thing we're going to do, well, first of all, our oven is heating to 400 degrees, so that's the first thing that you do. But you add the flour mixture, and then the butter mixture, and this is a 1/3 cup of butter, and that is 2 cups of flour, and you're going to cut it in. This is the part that a lot of people are familiar with if they have done a lot of pastry making before with regular flour. But this adds a nice little buttery pop to each little biscuit. It cuts in just the same as regular flour. See how it looks. It's like what you're looking for is those pea-sized. There goes the oven telling me it's ready. You're looking for those pea-sized shapes in here, and that tells you that the butter is mixing in or cutting into, there it is, there's a whole bunch there, so I need to get that in, but cutting into the flour mixture. And actually I'm starting to smell the butter going in there. That is a really interesting technique that I have, is once I start smelling it, then I know it's actually happening. But separately, all I smell is flour. So anyway, it's right here. It's in this pea-shaped, see that? So what we'll do is we will take and add the other ingredients. I'm making a complete mess.
That's what kitchens are for.
The next thing that we want to mention, or mix in, is the liquids. This is the goat milk, and it's 2/3 cup of goat milk. Thank you, dear. This is 3 beaten eggs. That's a sneeze because I got flour up my nose. Parsley. This is a tablespoon, or actually it's a 1/2 tablespoon of parsley. It's a little more because I like parsley in my biscuits. And 3 cloves of minced up garlic, and the combination of Kasseri and the mild goat milk cheddar. Okay, so we're going to fold it in and get it all mixed up, and it sounds really unpleasant when it's mixing, so keep that in mind. You want to get as much flour in there as possible. These are drop biscuits. These are not roll-out biscuits. Roll-out biscuits are very difficult to do with gluten-free because it is so sticky, and you got to get the proportions just right. And I'm not one of those people that wants to spend a tremendous amount of time baking or cooking in the morning. especially. These are for dinner sometimes, but today we're going to make them for biscuits and gravy. Okay, so that is mixed, and now we have a parchment paper covered baking dish, and we're going to just scoop some. I'm going to move that over. Thank you. I'm going to scoop some biscuits on the tray. This should make about 12 to 15 biscuits. Now, they don't have to look pretty because you're going to eat them, and a lot of times pretty goes out the door when you end up doing gluten-free stuff. Right, dear?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all about flavor.
So, we like flavor in our food. These smell fantastic. They are very, very, very similar in taste and texture to the Red Lobster biscuits. I know because I've had them before. I've had the Red Lobster biscuits before. I'm the only one in my family who is not gluten-free, so I get to do a lot of taste comparisons of different things, which is nice. We may have to end up doing 2 batches of this. I have a lot of flour in my hands. They seem like they're pretty dense and they hold together well, but don't try rolling them out. Trust me, it's not worth it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the heartache. This is going to make 15, so what I'm going to end up having to do is do maybe some in the toaster oven. I have a toaster oven and it's perfect because it doesn't do very many at one time. I'm going to add a tiny bit more to that first one. Okay, so these take about 11 minutes in the oven, and the oven is at 400 degrees. As soon as we pop them out, we will show you what that looks like. So these are still in the oven. The time just came up, but you can actually see the little cheese bubbling and the little butter melting. There's actually a little strand of cheese right there. The kaseri, which is spelled K-A-S-E-R-R-I, is fantastic, and it melts, and these are going to be so good with biscuits and gravy. Now you'll notice that these are not as brown as other biscuits that you would use, or you would notice with traditional flour. Keep that in mind. Don't keep trying to bake them until they get really golden brown, because
they'll turn into hockey pucks.
Yeah, they won't. Okay. So I'm making a gravy for biscuits and gravy, and this is a sausage gravy, and as you can hear, it's almost done cooking. This is about a 70-30 blend of fat to meat ratio, and it's a breakfast blend. You can get a really good trusted breakfast blend from most butcher shops because they will be able to tell you exactly what's in their sausage. We have a great one here. It's called Mr. Prime Beef, and they're in South Anchorage, and they're fantastic. And their sausage, they make 2 kinds of sausage. They make a regular pork sausage, and they make a spicy one. This would be a regular one because you don't want to overpower the biscuits. However, if you do not have access to a really good butcher, Jimmy Dean sausage does have a bunch of crud in it, but it is gluten-free, and it works beautifully. So it's important that you understand, about sausage. A lot of times, sausage that comes in the tubes is gluten-free. Just check the labels, make sure there's no, what you're looking for is maltodextrin, basically, which is it can be from barley, and barley is killer for those with celiac disease. Anyway, so as you can see, this has some fat in it, and that's the shiny part. And this is just a Bob's Red Mill flour mixture. It's the 1-to-1, which is my absolute favorite. It's my go-to. It's about 2 tablespoons. So you're going to mix it in there, and you're going to make kind of a roux. A lot of times I hear people worried about not being able to eat what they used to eat before the diagnosis or before they have chosen to go gluten-free for other health reasons. But these are really simple tricks that you can use. The Bob's Red Mill is fantastic. There's a whole bunch of one-to-ones out on the market. There's a cup for cup that I've heard is great. There's a namaste, which is really good too. But basically what you're just doing with this is you're getting those, turning it into a roux, just like you would regular flour. Now this is a 2/3 of a cup of goat milk. And again, goat milk, like I've said before in my other videos, it has to be whole fat goat milk, and it is really, really creamy. So this is going to go in here, and we're going to cook it down. Turn it into a gravy. And because of that flour, it's going to make it tighten up really well and turn into lovely, lovely gravy, which we will put over the biscuits. And if you flavor the biscuits, here's a trick. If you flavor the biscuits, then you don't have to worry about flavoring too much of the gravy. And the other trick is, if you buy like a Jimmy Dean sausage or a breakfast sausage, you don't have to worry at all about flavoring the gravy. You can put more milk in there if you like. This is a real thick mixture. It's up to you. But the next time you'll see this is going to be over some biscuits. Recipe made about 16 biscuits, and these are the biscuits, and they're really fluffy, and they behave just like a regular, look at that cheese. They behave just like a regular biscuit, and that's the Kasseri cheese in there. That's why it's melting. But my husband is going to taste test this for you, and I've put together a plate for him. So now I get to take over because he gets to eat. All right.
First, a little sausage by itself since it escaped. Hard to go wrong with sausage.
Okay, it's hard to get everything in there, but
It's really creamy. And this is really good. It's a little bit sweet. Yeah, and that's the goat milk. That's these cheeses, but it's really good.
okay, so he's gonna pound the whole thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm done talking.
Okay. Thanks.